Hello there guys, James here, and we're doing another watch review. So this time around we're looking at the Rolex Datejust 31 millimeters in stainless steel. This one in particular, we're looking at the fluted bezel. We've got the Roman numeral hour markers, and the reference on this watch is going to be 278274. So we're going to talk a little bit about the watch itself. We're going to learn how to set the watch and just some general thoughts as we go. So let's take a look at the dial here. One of the things that I love about this color is I'm very partial to the blue that Rolex uses, because you just get so many different hues out of the blue depending on the lighting that you're in. So as you can see, as I even turn it here, you're getting some different colors out of it, and that's one of the things that I love about the Rolex blue. So we have a couple of things going on the dial here. We've got our coronet at the top there, obviously Rolex Oyster Perpetual Datejust in the middle there, and then down here we have the superlative chronometer certification. So the COSC has their own standards for how they measure watch accuracy. Rolex goes above and beyond that, so once they test their movements to the COSC standard, they also case their movements and they measure it to -2 and +2 seconds per day. So your Rolex watch, if you have one, is going to be running between minus and +2 seconds per day, which is very accurate. You know, you can say whatever you'd like about the availability of Rolex and all those sorts of things, but the fact is, guys, they do make excellent watches, and that is a testament to that. So on the dial here at 3 o'clock, we have our Cyclops lens, which is displaying the date. Today's the 18th. We have the case profile, which is about 11 millimeters thick, so by Rolex standards, a pretty thin watch overall. We've got the fluting on the bezel, which they do give you a lot of options here for the Datejust. So you can have a domed bezel, you can have a fluted bezel. They even offer diamond bezels of different varieties on these. And then, of course, the hour markers on this one are Roman numerals, but you can also get the more kind of updated, the stick markers that have the lume in them now. They do offer those as well. They have a whole bunch of different dial combinations that you can get, and then the bracelet too. And this one is the Oyster, but you can also throw a Jubilee on here with some cases. They do offer that as well. If we go around the back here towards the clasp, you can see the Rolex coronet on there, and then you've got your standard Rolex clasp here, milled out in steel. You also have the Easy Link adjustment, which is on the back of the bracelet here. So what you can do is you pull this out. Got to pull pretty good on it to get it out, and that gives you a little bit of an extension if your wrist changes size and you need to resize it at some point on the fly. You always have that option. And then when you want to make it a little bit smaller again, a little bit tighter, you just push it back in, give it a good click, and then you are back to your normal size. Moving onward from that, back to the dial, let's look at setting the watch here. So all I'm going to do to set the Datejust is I'm going to thread the crown out till I'm in the first position here, and right now I'm just winding the watch. I'm not affecting the date or time. Then if I go out one more click, now I am going to be able to drive the date forward. And the way to really set this watch is I'm going to start on the day before today. So today's the 18th, so I'm going to go to the 17th. And then I'm going to pull out the crown one more time. And now you'll notice the second hand did stop, so that's hacking the seconds there. And now I'm going to drive the time forward. I just moved it and it went to the 18th. So now I'm on the right date and I'm in the AM hours of the day. But it is late in the evening here, so we've got to go to the PM time. So it's about 10:39. So I'm going to drive us all the way to 10:39. 10, there we go. Right about there. And then if I push the crown back in, you can see my seconds hand resumes doing what it's doing. And then I'm going to thread my crown back in so that it's locked. With Rolex, when you have the crown locked here, you're going to have 100 meters water resistance, which is great. It's going to have about a 55-hour power reserve, which is nice. So if you set it down to go do rock climbing or something physical during the day, you can definitely come back within a day or two even, and your watch will still be running because it'll have that power reserve. The lug-to-lug width on this watch is about 16 millimeters, so if you decide to throw a different strap on here of some sort, 16 millimeters is what you're looking at there. And that is pretty much the watch, you guys. So, like I say, I think this one, it makes a really great feminine companion. You know, I mean, it really does. I'll throw it on my wrist. Here it is sized for a smaller wrist, but just so you guys can get a sense of the size, my wrist for reference is just over 6 inches in circumference. So, you know, could probably go to a 36 or maybe even a 39 or larger on my wrist and be okay. But, you know, this watch really works well. It's a great versatile watch. You know, the way that Rolex is able to mesh kind of the more classical look of the Roman numeral dials and the fluted bezel with the oyster bracelet and case and just make it all look as good as this watch does. I just love it, and I picked it up recently for a friend. She is loving it already, giving it a lot of wrist time, which is awesome. Again, the blue, I'm a little partial to blues. If some of you have seen the Rolex Sky Dweller review that I did, they use a very similar blue on the Sky Dweller, so that's why I love the blue color. But you know, this Datejust watch, it's so versatile. It gives you so many options, and it really can do just about anything. You know, if you want to wear it for a dressy occasion, especially this one with the fluted bezel and the Roman numerals, looks nice for that. If you're wearing it on a more casual occasion too, the oyster bracelet it makes it look nice and sporty. It's got a good weight to it, and you know, not overly large, not overly heavy or anything like that. It's not a precious metal variant, even though it does have the white Rolesor, which is the 18-karat white gold that Rolex makes in the bezel and in the indices and in the coronet in there and the hands. So it's got some precious metal in there, but it's not as heavy as a precious metal watch. So overall, guys, like I said, I think it's a great option. So hopefully you found this useful. Whether you just like to look at Rolex watch videos like I do, you know, hope that you got some information there. Or if you're in the market for something and you're shopping around, you know, hopefully this gives you some information, a little more context on what Rolex offers. This variant is right around 8,000 MSRP if you can get one at retail. Again, if you go with a domed bezel, since there's no white gold at that point on it, that'll take you down somewhere, I think, in the 7,000-ish range. If you go Jubilee bracelet, that's going to bump up the price a bit. So, you know, you have your options there. It's not a bad price for what you're getting in this watch. So, hope you guys enjoyed this, and feel free to give me some feedback down below. Share, comment, subscribe, like, whatever you want to do. And I hope that you enjoy, and I hope that you have a great night, and I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.